Good afternoon. Wow, a little capacity crowd this time. My name is Steve Shimoniak. I'm the Director for Faculty Development. This critical thinking session is the third in 5 parts of critical thinking sessions that we give to the students here at the college. This one is going to be focused on using critical thinking to make decisions. The other two, now don't run out of here because while I wasn't here at the first or second session, no problem. Believe it or not, every month we have these critical thinking sessions throughout the month, and they've been continuing on. I've been doing them for about the last 2 years. The critical thinking framework that you're seeing in these pamphlets and handouts, you will also find on TSTC's website. So in case you forget these or something happens to them, you can actually go up to the TSTC main website, look under faculty and staff, and you want the Center for Excellence in Teaching and Learning. And there will be all the critical thinking handouts that you can print off. So, without further ado, let's get into today's discussion. I'm a very interactive instructor, guys, so I'd like for you to participate. I'm going to be bringing up scenarios that will kind of help us to draw in and actually see why critical thinking is so important, especially when we're making decisions. So don't feel kind of hesitant or don't feel that I'm picking on you if all of a sudden I start asking you, because I want your feedback, I want your interpretations. Okay? All right, without that saying done, is let me ask you a question. As you walked into this door, how many decisions do you think that you made from the time that you woke up until the time that you sat down? 5,000. 5? Oh, there we go. We got a big limit here of about 1,000. Anybody want to say anything less anymore? Let me see. Let me pick on somebody. Do you have a boyfriend, man? Of course you do. How many text messages do you think that you did from this time in the morning until this time here? I know mine must have been like about 100. About 50? So there's 50 decisions right there. How long did it take for you to put on clothes? How long did it take you to get here to the college? What decisions did you make? We make decisions each and every day. Unfortunately, what happens is that the same decision-making process that we use to make very instinctive type of decisions that don't use a lot of information, believe it or not, ladies and gentlemen, we are using those same types of decision-making process to make life-altering decisions. Decisions about what career do we want? Where do we want to live? Who do we want to marry? How do we want to be able to look at our lives 4 or 5 years from now? And I'm quite sure each and every one of us can look back at our lives and take a look at some type of decision that we made, and it went south. And we're sitting there at 2 o'clock in the morning looking in the mirror going, oh my God, why did I ever do that? And if you haven't done that by now, I'm quite sure that you will. The life is like that. We have to make decisions. So the whole purpose behind this session is to be able to take a look at how can we use critical thinking to be able to make better decisions. We take a look at our lives every day, and you've got to understand something, ladies and gentlemen. You guys are coming up in a very complex world. We have a complex world that deals with a lot of different issues, problems, beliefs, and at the same time, you're having all sorts of these complexities that are coming and actually opposing you or coming into you, and you're having to either decide whether you're going to believe something, not believe something, do something, or not do something. So there are a lot of things that you're having to take into play when you have to make decisions. Now, great thing about decisions is we can talk about decisions all day, but it's really tough because it's what we call a cognitive process. Does everybody understand what a cognitive process is? It's something we do up here, right? Now, it'd be really easy, if I may, ma'am. Can I see your keys? So if I talked about her keys, or your can opener here, everyone can see this, right? If I had a soda can, everybody can understand, everybody can see and view how I use this, right? So you'd have that connected. So you could see it, you can feel it, you can touch it, right? But how do we talk about decision making? Because we can't reach out and grab decision making, can we? It's a process that we do up here. So when we're thinking, when we're using critical thinking to think about critical thinking, sometimes it starts getting very confusing because we simply can't grab a hold of it. We can't touch it. We can't feel it. Now, the one thing about decision making is runs into 3 different types of modes that our mind and our brain works on when it comes to decision making. What I want you to do is do this. Turn to your front of your pamphlet. Can you do me a favor? I want you to draw me an upside down triangle. Would you do that for me? Meaning instead of the point being up at the top, I want the point down on the bottom. Gosh, I'm having you do some work already. All right. Excuse me, sir? Yep. Right, just open up the pamphlet, if I may, ma'am. Right where she kind of put it right here, right in the center where this empty spot is. And what I want you to do is this. On the left-hand side of the triangle, okay, upside down, I want you to put, listen to me, emotions. On the right-hand side, I want you to put wants. And on the bottom point, I want you to put thinking. Now, really, if you take a look at it, our mind, when it begins to work, it works off of three basic things. It works off of emotions, it works off of needs, it works off of thinking. So let's talk about every three of these points, because you know what? They have a lot to do with the way that we make decisions. If you don't think so, let's see. You have a boyfriend, correct, ma'am? Okay, here we go. If you looked up this window right now, ma'am, or better yet, if you have a boyfriend or girlfriend, I want you to visualize right now. You're out there, you're in here, and all of a sudden, there he is. He's walking up this walkway right here. All of a sudden, he stops because someone's called him. He looks around, and all of a sudden, this nice-looking girl walks up there, gets him in a nice warm embrace, and they start swapping spit like it's cool right out here in front of you. All right? You're talking about hands grabbing all over the place, and they are in a very seductive, very romantic embrace. What is going through your mind right now? It's like, the heck with this session right now. I'm going to go out there and I'm going to kill him. All right? What about this? I mean, that's just a simple play. How about this? You're in my class. You've been in my class. You've been working really hard. You've been getting ready for this midterm. I give out the midterm reports. You've been thinking it's been such a great class. You've been doing really great. And I give you a midterm grade update of F. What's going through your mind right now? You instructor. I hate you, you know. Oh, what's happening is emotions are doing what? They're driving what? You're thinking. They're driving your decisions. Do you know, ladies and gentlemen, that you can make an emotional decisions can be made so rapidly and so quickly. They're made within hundredths of a second. So, just like in her case, and you wonder, the rage begins, is that all of a sudden our mind is totally blocked off, our thinking, and what drives our decisions and our thinking now? Simply emotions. Now, let's look at the other side of the triangle. Let's look at wants. Come on now. Is that we've always wanted that Mustang 5.0. We drive by and there it is, a GT Special, the 427 Hemi in there. I'm sorry, not Hemi, that's Dodge, all right? But you look in there, it's Shelby, it's cool, and it's like, I want that vehicle. I need that vehicle. I'm going to do anything that I can because I want that vehicle. I want that house. I want this. I want that. What starts driving your thinking? What starts driving your decision? And a lot of times, you will do anything and everything because now what drives your decision? Your want, your desire. Wars have been started simply off of emotions or off of wants. I want that land. I want that woman. I want this. I want that. And what drives all our decision making? Either our emotions or our desires. But unfortunately, down on the bottom is what we call it as thinking. Thinking governs our emotions and also, too, is our desires. And if we don't watch it, is that our emotions can override our thinking, basically shove thinking off to the side and say, hey, we're in charge. Get in the back seat because we're driving. And all of a sudden, what happens? We start making reckless decisions. You need to believe and you need to think of this is that when you're sitting there and you're having to make a decision, what's driving your decisions? Is it your emotions? Is it your desires? Or is it actually your thinking? Is your thinking rationally thinking everything out? Looking at all the elements of thought, looking at the standards, looking at exactly what are the